actually came here, happy warriors and great-grandchildren, this morning to talk about a bunch of stuff that's been bothering me about our own government, geoengineering and re-engineering, and everybody else on the planet too. They are engineering our planet. They are actually, all of those things they've been doing to our planet to combat climate change. Well, maybe it's only for their own benefit in all the way around, but it doesn't benefit humanity. It doesn't benefit my trees at all when they block the sun. And my trees want the sunshine. And it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit our growing season here. Living at the base of Tahoe, basically. The bedroom of Tahoe, I would call it. Tahoe can stay up there. It snows too much for me. If I want to go skiing, I'll just go up there and go skiing. But I'll ride a snowmobile. That's more fun for me. I get off track so easily when I think about things like that. But anyhow, the main reason why I'm here today is because of the aliens that are running our government and the globalists, elite, the oligarchy, the totalitarian. Can you imagine our own president threatened us? Threatened us. Our own president threatened to nuke us or send airplanes after us if we didn't comply. We're not taking it. We need to start at the school boards. We need to start at the ground level with our own children. We need to take back our own children. Yes, and we need to do it now. Everyone needs to get to those school board meetings this summer. Oust all of the bad guys and put in the good parents. Those are our schools. We pay for them. The taxpayers pay for the schools. And guess what happened when I was going to school? Well, they couldn't keep up with me anyway, but it doesn't matter. I got out of there. And then I made up my mind I wasn't going to let the public school system have my own children. But then, later on in there, my oldest one graduated with her class. But she had to have a tutor, and that's because she was the product of the public education system to begin with. I had no way around that. And then, after I left that West by God state of mind I was in for a while, being abused and beat and all that good stuff up there on the mountain in that West by God state of mind I was in. Oh my. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother story about how I escaped that one and took my children with me across country. With a dog I had to shoot on the way because it got ran over when, how kids are. Let the dog out after you tell them not to. And then they learn what happens when you cross the street without looking both ways. That was a memorable experience for those children. Whoa! Yeah. So that's a whole nother story. But it started off with public education with my oldest, and that wasn't good at all. They ruined her a whole bunch, and she had to be tutored by her grandmother. Her grandmother was always a good teacher. We were taught at home a lot. And then they started changing the reading system to dumb down our children even further. They changed a lot of things. The school system has changed a lot of things along the way over the years. Finally, my other two, they got into private education pretty much right away. The middle girl graduated 1 grade ahead. The youngest ended up going into her senior year when she was 15 years old, ahead, and with honors. And then went on to learn Mandarin Chinese at the Military Institute in Monterey. Graduated number 1 of her class, married the number 2 boy, had 2 very intelligent children. Anyhow, and then had a couple more intelligent children later on. Linguists. Brainiacs. Anyway. Yeah. All coinciding with how much education each one had. Oh yeah, and I breastfed the youngest one as long as I could too. Probably almost 2 years. Because that raises the IQ along with a few other things of your children, which I read all about, and I was learning about nutrition and our own, what we can do for ourselves here so we can be independent and not have to rely on our government or anybody else to take care of us, right? Yeah. So our government has threatened to nuke us or fly airplanes over us if we don't adhere to their wishes. Now, what kind of government is that? That's one of those governments that will kill you if you don't do what they want you to do. And how many political prisoners are there now because of this January thing that happened? Yeah, we have political prisoners. We had them before when we had them before Trump. Before Trump came along for 4 years and basically showed the American people what could happen if we had a good situation. But if we have the wrong people in charge, we have what's happening right now. Look, I have my flag flying upside down. Our country's in distress. When my own government puts razor wire up around themselves and then opens the floodgates on the border and lets the people just flood right on in, and we're being invaded by who knows what. I have no idea. Who are these people? Do they even speak English? Will I ever be able to communicate with them? Maybe I should learn Spanish and teach them the Pledge of Allegiance in Spanish. El Abadenda de los Estados Unidos de America. Let's see, una nación, let's see, I'll go to the Embajo de Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. How about that one? Let's just get to the bottom line. Anyway, yeah, we need to, as the American people and the population, if we're going to be invaded, if our own government is allowing us to be invaded, we need to teach those people when they come across the border, when they come into our own communities, when they drop them off right here, we need to let them know that they are our friends and our own government is the same kind of government that they fled. They're just coming into a situation where they think it might be a little bit easier, but it really isn't going to be in the long run. They'll end up like what our own government's doing to us. Only except for these people that are coming across the border, they think it's normal, that kind of behavior, so they're used to it. They're used to being abused. These people are used to being abused. So, you know, we just have to tell them they don't have to put up with it and join our side, and we need to take our own government back, beginning with our own schools. If they want their children taught, really taught, then we need to take back our schools and teach our children the way we want them to be taught, not the way our government wants them to be taught. Some weird, I mean, come on. I'm an old great grandma here. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff. I have lived through ages. My dad died. He was 90. So, you know, how much did he see through his life? A lot. He was in the military. My children, my stepson, everybody, my uncle, everybody. Military. And now, look at what they're doing to our military. Ladies, I mean real women, look at what they're doing to our military. These are the men that are going to father our children in the future? You've got to be kidding me. Oh, I guess men can have babies now, scientifically, somehow. Yeah. They're going to do away with the females. We need a new category for the trans people. The trans people can have their own category. Ladies and women. Real ladies and women. Hello, I have a vagina. I was born that way. I'm not competing with a man, even though I would just really like to sometimes. All right? Yeah. No, we're not doing that. Ladies, come on. Let's take our world back, okay? We are the hand that rocks the cradle. We are the hand that rules the world. Come on. We let these men take over eons ago. And I'm not a feminist like a feminazi is. But if we're going to deal with a president that's an abusive president who wants to nuke me or shoot me with an airplane because he can't get up close and personal and talk to me to my face without being abusive, really? They don't care about us. I think they're aliens. They landed a long time ago. They made a deal with our government. You know how our president is. He would sell his own mother to the alien fleet. Wouldn't he? Our own president doesn't care about us. He only cares about himself and his friends and staying in power and his friends staying in power. That's our president. He's an abuser. And he abuses people, humans. Don't threaten. I rebuke you as my president for threatening to nuke me or shoot me with an airplane or bomb me in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. So, ladies, women, parents, men, the manly men who are still manly men, who haven't been soy-boyed into submission, that still have their testicles intact, and the government doesn't have you by your little ballies. Yeah, I am a real woman. I like real men. I like the men that can protect the women who have real families, who raise real, normal, human families. But you can take the abuse, President. You can take your abusive attitude. Yeah, because people like me aren't going to take it anymore. I'm the great-grandmother. Don't mess with my great-grandchildren and the future of humanity without me saying something about it. And I know I'm just one little bitty person. But we're all connected. And what our government is finally figuring out is that we have a bigger connection telepathically than they can deal with. They have tried to shut us down in every other way. How long have I been talking about telepathic communication, people? A long time. That's right. They do it. The aliens do it. We get telepathically communicated with. No, it's not like an audible. We don't hear voices. It's not like that. You just have to understand how psychic ability, let's look at it like that. A lot of people have that. A lot of people do. A lot of people, it's in their DNA. And if you get mRNA, your DNA will be flayed. So now we get to go through the summer, and then we get to watch the people be crazy, and then we get to watch this winter happen with all of these strange occurrences coming about, and our government manipulating the people more. So we need to take back our government one school board at a time. One school board at a time. And I don't know how I'm going to do that now, but my dad is gone. He was a warrior to the end. Yeah, and a good dad. He did the best he could with what he was given. And I was fortunate enough that I was raised by the wilderness, which means I'm not like everyone else. Not even close. Y'all don't even know. Yeah, and so if you're connected to nature, nature can help take care of you. Not a lot of people know that, but they can learn it. You know, our bodies are miraculous pieces of equipment here. We have the power of prayer. Everything is really in the Bible. It's not that hard, but it's really messed up because you can't understand it. A lot of people can't. But it's okay. It's not that difficult to understand. If the children were taught all about their bodies from the very beginning, all of the electricity and the water that we have here that makes up ourselves and what we can do with it, and through the power of the spoken word, we create our own realities moment by moment through our own emotionalized thought. Okay? That's the beginning. That's the very beginning. And once you know how you can connect your emotions with your thought and speak it out, and we get together in churches, this is where our power of the spoken word and our emotion together is amplified. The power of the 2 times 2, the 3 times 3. You know, it's like that. So let's get back into groups and let's talk about this, and let's take back our local communities one little bitty town at a time, one little village at a time, one school board at a time. Let's do this, but we have to do it right now, before that crazy person that's the spokesperson for our USA decides he wants to nuke us all. Holy moly. Totally and absolutely out of line and ridiculous. He's acting like one of those really bad dictators that we've gone to war to save ourselves from. I mean, my God, he's acting like Hitler. Anyhow, we need to stop this, and we need to stop it now. We need to stop it now. Because if it doesn't stop now, my great-grandchildren are going to have to deal with all of this BS. I mean, I don't see a good future for them. This planet, we're going to have to do something with it if that happens. And I don't think it's going to be pretty. You thought the flood was bad the last time? Yeah? Well, we might have to rearrange the planet again. How many times are we going to have to do this before the bad guys finally get the idea that they're never going to be able to do this? They can't take over the whole planet. It will never happen. The mycelium will still be here after they have done their... Go ahead, shoot us all, but there's still the mycelium they have to contend with. Long after our president is gone, the mycelium will still be here. And eventually, maybe people will decide to leave humanity alone. Leave Mother Nature alone. Mother Nature. Tell our POTUS that there's no way he can control Mother Nature without destroying himself. And then Mother Nature will still be here. Come on. How hard do you want to make this on yourself, POTUS? How hard do you want to make it on yourself, POTUS? And the rest of you frickin' oligarchs who think you can control humanity on the planet. You can't. You can't control Mother Nature. There's no way you can geoengineer this planet to suit you. You can be the alien species and try to, but it still won't work. Mother Nature is still going to be here and still going to provide a way out. Mother Nature always wins. So quit your BS. And quit ruining the planet for my great-grandchildren. We'd like to have a peaceful time this time around. This time around, can we just not have to have a world cataclysm to rectify your BS? Can we just do that? You guys are such idiots. Frickin' with Mother Nature. Yeah. Our president and all his oligarchy friends are idiots. They're such morons. They think they can fool Mother Nature. They think they can do all this bullshit. They cannot get away with it. And who pays the price? Well, humanity does. Yes, it does. But it's all right, children. Stay strong. Don't live in fear, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to be afraid. You can just be grateful and pissed off at the same time. It really works. Because the power of the spoken word. Love doesn't mean we have to be doormats, children. We can rise up. We don't have to go anywhere. We can stay right where we are and talk about it right here. And we have trees we can hug. Listen, you go hug a tree, I hug a tree, and it goes down into the dirt, into the mycelium, and it spreads all across the planet. Our hearts radiate, vibrate at least 8 miles or more out. So we can essentially cover the planet in a web of love vibe, powerful love vibe. Yes, that's one thing they can't get to. They can't get to that level. Those bad guys can't get to there. That's part of the reason why they're pissed off too. So you exercise that. You have passion. Don't let it get into anger. No, you get into happy, warrior, love. And we all get connected that way. On that one bandwidth, right? And then we, all across the planet, we're all connected through the invisible. Through the invisible, we're all connected. That's what the oligarchs, they can't do that. They never could do that. They can't get there. They're just on this lower vibe thing down here, with all of their hateful torture, because they have to control everything and make everybody do what they want them to do. Yeah. And they think they can control Mother Nature. They are morons. They're such idiots. They are such idiots. So, at least this go around, we're going to still try to do something about this problem, right? We have to get our children back. Because if you let the madman, come on, do you want your children to be raised by a president like that? That's an abusive president. Do we want our children to look to him as an example of what to do and how to be? No, we do not. That's not my idea of having a man. He is not a good man. I don't want him as my representative. I wouldn't have him or his kind as my husband. I had one of those a couple of times. It didn't work out. And I'm not having that again. So we need to get all this straightened out. I'm not having that president as an example to my great-grandchildren, especially if they're young men. And they're not going into the military. You're not conscripting them either. No, we were in the military. We're not in the military anymore. Not if they're going to dress up like clowns. I mean, colorful clowns with, can you imagine? They look like clowns to me. They're not. They're men. They were born men, but they're not acting like men. They're acting like clowns. They're not real men if they're acting like that. What kind of clown is that? Teaching my great-grandchildren how to be that kind of clown? No. I want my boys to be able to protect my realm efficiently. And if they have to dress up like clowns to for an operation, something I guess that they're gonna do to win a battle, that might be okay, but just for a LARP, but not for real. We can pretend, but let's not be real about it. I don't want my boys to turn into girls. What? That just means I have to be a tough woman. I'm not going to be a feminazi kind of woman, though. I want my men to be real men. You have to have enough testosterone. But you can't be abusive. Not like our POTUS is. Our POTUS is so bad. He's such a bad example for my great-grandchildren, my young men, and my young girls. Can you imagine? They're looking at him going, oh my God, I gotta fear my president now? They're my grandchildren, my girl grandchildren? That's the example? Yeah, I wonder what my one grandchild thinks about being nuked by her POTUS. Right? Hey, at least the last POTUS didn't threaten to nuke us, right? No, he didn't. I've never been threatened like that before my whole life. Not by a POTUS. When a POTUS threatens you that they're going to nuke you if you don't behave yourself. He wants to keep our government all to himself. So anyway, my flag is upside down because our country is in distress. It's been upside down since they put razor wire around DC and they opened up the floodgates. Opened up the floodgates to an invasion. So okay, so we learn Spanish and whatever other languages that are coming across the border. And I know a bunch of us know a bunch of those languages already. And then we start teaching the people that are coming across the border, they don't have to be slaves to the cartels or our government. We can take care of ourselves right here, right now. We can grow our own food. We can take care of our neighbors can take care of us. We can trade with each other. Look, I'm having a fall festival, and all my gardener friends and all my farmer friends are welcome to come over And we're going to have a party over here. It's the end of the year festival. We'll bring our wares. And, you know, the government's not allowed to my party. It's a party. It's a fall festival. It's one of those old-timey kind of fall festivals we used to have a long time ago, where we all got together. But we're not paying anybody anything, except for if we have to pay for a permit to block the road off so we can have a live band. You know, that might be a different thing that we have to pay for. But other than that, my friends are welcome to swap food with each other without the government being involved. It's like we're gonna call it, well, it's a fall festival, but it could be a potluck where everybody brings their own dish and then we share with each other, kind of like that. Yeah. So eventually we're gonna get our kids back. We're taking our kids back via the school boards now. And then we're gonna take our independence back in every way possible that we can. If we have to grow food inside our houses. Yeah. And then all of those other little nooks and crannies that they instituted and that they infiltrated, we get those and we clean those out. If they are against humanity and against humans, then we have to do something about this. Those are the alien invaders to humanity. And humanity is right now an endangered species, people, but you don't see it yet, but you will see it. Remember, I said that. You're going to see that humanity is an endangered species once again. It's happened before. They just finally found a giant's head. That's great. They just finally found a giant's head. Well, it's true. And all of those Indian mounds in the United States of America that they have giant bones in that they're hiding. Yeah. What about the Lovelock Caves? Look, the stories that they've told about the Indians being massacred. Well, guess what? The Indians massacred and genocided the giants before. Yes. It's like, hello. Our history isn't being taught to our children either. It's been hidden. A lot of history's been hidden. But here's the deal. If your DNA, because all the information is stored in the DNA. If you figure out how to get access to your own DNA and it hasn't been altered too much, maybe you'll remember, because of genetic memory, it's all in there, just like the blockchain. It's all in there. All the information's in there. Gosh. Okay. And the other thing is, where's my freaking flying car? That's right. Grandmother Cherie, great-grandmother Cherie, is not happy because I still don't have my flying car. Where is it? We damn straight know that the capabilities have been there for a long time, and I'm supposed to be flying around in my car right now, and it's not here yet. This is the other problem I'm having with my POTUS. He's hiding all this great technology from us, and they have been for a long time, because they don't want us free and flying. They want us down here on the ground. Yeah. Working for them, slaving away for them so they can fly around in their big old airplanes and have their big old fancy parties and do whatever they do with those fancy parties because they think they could just do anything and get away with it. Don't mess with Mother Nature. And I'm telling you right now, Mother Nature is coming after you if you don't quit. POTUS. And we'll save humanity. Anyway. The rest of the humans that haven't been messed with yet still have a signature. They still are beacons of light, recognizable. those of us who are in the control group, and you know who you are, the rest of them got mRNA'd. Those are the ones that really, you know, as far as genetically and intelligence. I have that youngest one of mine got mRNA'd. She was the one who graduated 2 years ahead. But her mind was taken over. That's what happened to her. So she got, before she did her investigations on any of these things, then those are the kind of people that don't need to be on the planet. She had 4 grandchildren. Let's hope they survive this whole thing. Some of them, one of them. I mean, I have plenty of them so far. I could have had more, but the middle daughter didn't want to have that many, but the granddaughter wants to, so. And she didn't get mRNA'd, so let's just hope this all works out for humanity's sake. We do have some DNA on the planet that's still going to be viable, human, normal DNA, somewhat intelligent. Yeah, I do have some intelligent grandchildren. I just hope they make it out of this. That's why I came here. That was my purpose, to have children. Females. Females. I'm supposed to have females, and I did. I got what I wanted. God and I agreed on that. Because the hand that rocks the cradle, ladies, is the hand that rules the world. We are the power centers. The ladies are the ones that keeps the home fires burning. We have the family. We can't go anywhere because we have children to raise. The men go do their thing, they go and hunt. Yeah, or they have a job. They take care of that part of the family. But the globalists have made it so that everybody in the family has to be a slave now to the globalists, right? We have to be a slave to our own government, even the children, in one way or shape or form. And then they put them in schools, and then and now they want to get them when they're 3? Are you kidding me? Parents, do not let the government have your children until after your children have developed cognitive thinking skills and you have set them in their ways before they ever get anywhere. And if I were you, I'd teach them everything you can about the mycelium and all of nature and all of the trees and how everything works and how you get connected to nature so that nature provides you. Once you figure out how the mycelium work and how they take care of each other and how the mycelium will send help to another part of the yard, or how nature will send help in somehow to help you. Once you find out how that works, then we'll all be on the same page. And it'll be beautiful. I just wish more people knew all about that. Huh. Yeah, that would be wonderful if we had more people that knew that. There are some people that know it, so find them. Just learn how your body works. That's what we need to start teaching our children right from the very get-go. Anatomy and physiology should be a must, and it shouldn't all be directed toward the sexual parts. It should be directed toward all of our energy zones that we have. Listen, in the Bible, it talks about the crown, all the jewels being set in the crown. Well, the jewels could be and might be our chakras. And once they're all in tune and vibrating in the right thing, then they raise up, right? Isn't that the Kundalini they talk about in the New Agey stuff? Yeah. So just look at yourself as a sphere of light. If because we are light, energy. When you look at yourself, because they have technology now, you can see all of that, right? So, yeah. So you raise the Kundalini, and I know it's all, I don't know what time it is or how long I'm taking, but you just raise that, and they all lock in together. It's like, yeah, each one vibrates at a different, that's why we're all separated from God. into the light spectrum, physical light spectrum, right? Yes, we have become separated from God that way, but once we put ourselves back together, we remember who we are. We remember. Okay, so we remember, we raise that, and the vibrations raise, and so then it's all set in the crown, and we are ascended in the light and free. You see, that's basically how it works. That's the basic part of it. And if you're having to pay somebody to get that information, then you pay too much, because it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy. And I gotta go change the water now. And I'm gonna make waffles, not pancakes this morning. So y'all have a good day. Enjoy your wonderful Saturday. And everybody, just stand up for yourselves, because if you don't do it, if you don't do it now, you have to do it now. You just have to do it now. Now. Because we're kind of at the end. When our POTUS threatens to nuke us into submission, we're kind of at the end of the abuse cycle, right? That's before you get hit. So we just need to, the game quits when you identify it and you put it right back on him. He's an abusive POTUS and he needs to be ousted, along with all the rest of the oligarchs. But the only way we're going to be able to really do this is to start from scratch, from the ground floor, locally. Okay. Bye. Have a great day. Happy warriors and great-grandchildren. See what you can do with the mess that I made out of all of this morning. I gotta go change the water. Much love.